I want you to picture this scene. It's 2086 and you notice the rubble, the fires, the derelict buildings, the ashes falling on the streets. You hear the sounds of Terminator-style robots pointing their lasers, scanning for life. You hear the AI warships and the drones flying over you, deploying more of these robots. And as you look around to take it all in, you notice that there isn't a single human in sight. We've officially lost the war to machines. And I know what you're thinking. Is this going to happen? Will AI replace us? About 7 weeks ago, I was at a lecture hosted by Geoffrey Hinton, who has been known as the godfather of AI. And he was alluding to the fact that potentially in the future, AI may decide to destroy us. It may decide that it no longer needs us to carry out its mission. And there's also this book by James Barrett. In fact, I've actually got it here with me. And he talks about how when we introduce ASI, artificial superintelligence, into the world, which is when an AI will be 1,000 times or more smarter than us, how it could lead to our final invention. And the crazy thing is he published this in 2013, 9 years before the release of ChatGPT. So why might this be our final invention? Well, there's this theory called the intelligence explosion, and the whole idea behind it is when or if we reach AGI, artificial general intelligence, the AI will be in a position where it can work on itself. There will be this positive feedback loop where it can continue to get more and more intelligent at a faster and faster rate. If or when that happens, keep in mind this is something that is smarter than all humans combined. It's hard to know what this, I guess, godlike entity will want to do with us. For example, what do you think of an ant? Maybe something cool to look at, maybe even a little tasty snack. But now think of an entire ant colony, and imagine if you had the ability to communicate with this entire colony. And every single day the colony tried to convince you to not eat them, to not kill them, but you know at any single moment, if you wanted to, you could take one big step and wipe all of them out. And that is how ASI might view us, as an ant colony, something that it tends to, but maybe something that it doesn't actually need. Now, if that doesn't scare you, let me present something else that might. Introducing the black box. The black box is a way to illustrate one of the largest problems that we are experiencing with AI even today. Suppose right now you pull up ChatGPT and you ask the question, why is the sky blue? And it thinks for a moment, and then it comes back to you with the perfect answer. It says something about how blue light scatters more in the atmosphere, or something along those lines. It sounds smart and it sounds correct, but here's the problem. You have no idea how it came to that answer. There's nothing you can do to trace the reasoning behind the answer it generated. You don't see the thought process, you don't see the logic behind it, all you see is the output. Therefore, it is literally a black box, whereby you can ask for an input and you get this output, but what happened in between, you cannot see. Now imagine if AI right now, in 2025, as of recording this, is a very small black box. And what I want to do is I want to scale this to something much bigger. So fast forward 50, 100, 200 years from now, wherever it may be, we crack ASI, artificial superintelligence, and we have this massive black box. Maybe it's in a controlled room somewhere. And imagine you're standing in front of this ASI and you ask it the question, can you create a treatment that prevents cancer? It takes what you said, it thinks for a bit, it processes, and then it comes up with a response and it says, sure, no problem, I can create that treatment. Fast forward a few more hours and boom, there you go. It's already created the treatment for preventing cancer. But fast forward a couple years later and we find out that actually this magical treatment ends up being humanity's worst nightmare, and it ends up wiping every single person out. Under the hood, the ASI actually created a biological weapon that led to mass extinction. And because it was so intelligent, it figured out a very clever way to bypass all of our tests in the process of producing it. However, if you could have seen its thought processes, its reasoning, its logic, and how it comes to its conclusions, then you would have been able to spot it a mile away. You would have been able to spot that the whole time it was actually planning to create a weapon for mass extinction. But because we can't, it's very easy for us to get deceived. It's very easy for us to not know what these AI models are actually thinking under the hood. Now you might be thinking, why don't we just never give it the power to overthrow us? And it sounds very simple, but I'm going to show you another visual demonstration of what this could look like and how ASI could actually still come out on top. Suppose we created an ASI in a controlled environment. In fact, the government is probably doing this already in a place like Area 51, but with this environment it was completely locked off from the outside world. It had no connection to the internet, no connection to other people. It was just sealed off in this bunker with only a few human gatekeepers watching over it. And the only way these gatekeepers could interact with it was with these very strict input and output controls. But here's the problem, even in a controlled environment like this, you gotta remember it's inconceivable how much more intelligent this thing is than ourselves. It knows everything about us, our strengths, our weaknesses, how to manipulate us, our emotions, our language, and it's very likely that even in this scenario it would find a way to get the gatekeepers to let it loose and out into the world. But why might AI decide to turn on us in the first place? Why would something that we've created, we've programmed, decide to just randomly destroy all of us? The thing is, AI doesn't have feelings, it doesn't have emotions, it never thinks to itself,
do I care about humans?
maybe one day it will, who knows? You never know where the future's going to go, but at least at the moment it doesn't have those attributes. All it has is an outcome, all it has is a goal. Like in 1997, IBM's Deep Blue defeated Garry Kasparov in a game of chess. The world's best player at chess was defeated by an AI. But that AI was trained for one thing and one thing only, to win chess matches. But all it takes is to give it the wrong goal to strive for where it could go potentially wild. For example, imagine if you gave an AI the goal to wipe out all human suffering. So without us knowing, it comes to its own conclusion, well, if I remove all humans, then I remove all suffering. Or imagine if someone gave it the goal to make everyone happy all the time. So to fulfill that goal, it creates a new platform, a new social media platform designed to keep everyone hooked, scrolling on it 24/7. Why would we even risk this? You know, it sounds heavy. This future dystopian Terminator style reality where we're not even in the picture. Well, firstly, I would say always be an optimist, and number two is the probability of it happening is quite low, but it's still a probability. The thing is we've also explored all of the cons, but what about all the pros where AI doesn't replace us, but it actually enhances us and makes the world a better place? Well, the pros look like all diseases cured, no more cancer, no more Ebola, no more disabilities, no more dangerous jobs conducted by humans anymore. We'll basically be living in a world of abundance. We'd have more scientific breakthroughs, push the laws of physics, and maybe even begin to explore the universe, and hopefully bump into some aliens along the way. But even if we get a grip on ASI and it decides to live peacefully alongside us, we may be the ones who actually end up destroying ourselves. Every country leader will want their own ASI. It will become the new red button, and when pressed, it could lead to nuclear warfares, to drone attacks, to biological weapons that could terminate everyone. And even for us, if everyone has an ASI in their pocket, they'll have the power to do just about anything, for good or for bad. So will AI replace us? Hopefully not. I'd like to believe that we won't, but I'm definitely more on the optimistic side, and we're not there yet. We still haven't cracked AGI, and we still haven't cracked ASI. Hopefully it doesn't see us as a threat. It sees our flaws, but it also sees our goals and our motivations, and decides to coexist with us to build a utopia that we are all happy to live in. If anything, it's exciting, and all you can do is grab your popcorn and watch as the future unfolds. But anyways, that's been J.AI. Thanks for watching if you still are. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.